All right, so in this video, I'm going to take you through my 2025 bat collection, which is about almost 20 strong. So I've gotten a lot of bats sent to me. This is a partnership video to myself and justbats.com. They've sent me almost all these bats. That said, my reviews are my own. They don't care what I say about them. There's a bat for everyone, and they know that, which is really cool. I'm going to take you through a quick review of all these bats because I haven't had time to get the full reviews out there. I know it's buying season, right? It's February, so you're probably wondering just a good take on someone who's used a bunch of these. So use the timestamps below. You can easily jump to the bat that you're looking for, or you can watch this video start to finish. It's so important to compare bats to each other. So my benchmark off the batting tee on exit velocity is about 90 miles per hour. So bats that perform above that, they're giving you an extra boost. Bats below that, I'm saying, okay, I'm losing a little bit with this bat. So I'm just going to kind of give you the benchmark velocity, but keep 90 in mind when I explain like, hey, this bat will give you 85, 86. You're just going to that will help you know how it stacks up compared to others performance-wise. And I'm going to go in categories. So we'll start with composites first, then we'll go to 2-piece aluminum, 1-piece aluminum, and wood. And last thing to know, all these bats are ASA USA certified slow pitch bats. All right, composites. First up, Victus pink pencil. First of all, I really like the design of the pencil bats. I think it's it really kind of started this new trend. So this is one of my favorite designs, not my favorite color. This bat is really high performing, 91, 92, 93 off the tee with this one. You can expect that this is about as good as any bat on the market, especially as it continues to break in more. This one feels a little softer when you hit it. It doesn't have that like really crisp crack. It feels just kind of softer. You still hit the crap out of it, but if you want that really crisp sound and that crisp feel, this is maybe not the bat for you. Tons of forgiveness. You can hit this off the end cap on this little matte part where it looks like an actual pencil eraser. The ball is still going to go. So if you're wondering if this is a good bat, you absolutely get what you pay for. It's like a $300 bat, so it's more expensive, but you do get your money's worth for performance. Axe Dabacle. This is a dual stamp, which is nice. You could use this in your USSSA or your USA ASA slow pitch leagues. This is also a high performer. In my test, this was not the best of the 3 Axe bats, and this was not performing above the Marucci Yellow Crush or the Victus pencil. That said, this is still a good bat. For me, this was like 88, 89 versus that 90 mile per hour benchmark. Still feels really crisp. I like how this feels. I personally am a huge fan of the Axe bat knobs. So like I always prefer an Axe knob if everything else is the same. I think anatomically, like I come from the baseball world. I know how many guys break their hamate bone, and there is some real science to this. So I always lean a little more Axe bat, just so you know, that's my bias. But this is a really high performer, especially if you need a dual stamp. It's a really good bat. Next one, we've got Axe Disturbance, and I'm going to give you both this is the balanced, and this is the end-loaded version. I made another video about balanced versus end-loaded, and these are the two I compared. These are both about the same exit velocity-wise. They're both excellent bats, 91, 92 miles per hour off the tee for me. And this one, end loaded, I could lift a little bit better. This one, a little more for line drives. My team passed this one around like crazy, and this green one, and everyone loves it. Everyone loved it. If you're less of a home run hitter, this pink, the balanced Axe Disturbance, is just a phenomenal bat. If you like to lift the ball a little more, if you're a little more of a power person, the green one is a phenomenal bat as well. Both these have like top of the line pop. I love the Axe handles personally. These are the 2025 models. They're definitely coming out with new ones soon. So these will be on discount, and it's a really high performing bats. All right, next composite is the Marucci Yellow Chocolate Crush. Again, this is ASA. I think this is the ugliest design in bats right now, but this is a really superb bat. I loved hitting with this bat, so I can almost kind of forgive it, but it has that like shotgun sound to it and that like really crisp, hard feel when you hit the ball, which I really like. The pink pencil bat has a little more of a soft feel when you make good contact. This one is like crack, and I really like that. 91, 92, 93 with the Marucci Yellow Chocolate Crush. You get what you pay for with this bat. It's really, really top notch. And I love the feel, the shotgun and the crisp feel when you hit the ball. And then last of the composites, this is an Easton Salvo. This is a justbats.com exclusive. I use this bat for actually of the same model, different weights in my video about testing which weight hits hardest. So I've hit with these Salvos a lot, and these have a very similar feel of like the Marucci Chocolate Crush, which is shotgun sound, really hard, crisp, like the way you hit the ball. So I really like the way the ball feels when I make good contact. And for this bat, anywhere from like 86 to 90, 91, this is a pretty good performing bat for like $200 in that range. So don't sleep on the Easton Salvo. This is also a dual stamp. This is a really good bat for the money. So if you're looking to pick one up that's not in the $300 range for a composite, this is a really good option that you can use in both your USSSA and your ASA leagues. All right, here's a transitional bat just for fun. This, my friend gave me this. She played 9 years in the NPF, the Pro Fast Pitch League, and they gave these to her team specifically. So this little bat's like 20 years old. This bat hits bombs. It's balanced. It's double wall, all aluminum, and this is like 88, 89, 90. This is like pretty much as good as almost some of the composites. Like, so this is a really fun bat. It's got like a really long barrel. It's just like meh, meh. Maybe find these on eBay. This is a Demarini 375 double wall. This is ASA certified, so I have used it in games. Really fun bat. If you could find one of these on eBay, highly recommend. When we're out of home runs, I'll put this bat in my hands because I can't lift the ball as well with a balanced bat, but this bat smokes the ball. All right, let's go on to aluminum two-piece. First one, Miken MV-1. This one is a pretty good performer, 85, 86, 87, mostly 86s, 87s, so lower than, you know, the performance benchmark of 90, which I would use with a composite, I would get with a composite. This is a like $140-ish bat, so you're losing, you know, 3 or 4 miles per hour into an aluminum, but it's half the price, right, of like a high-end composite bat. So is there good value for the money? Absolutely. Half price for like a 3 or 4 mile per hour reduction, I think it's pretty solid. This is a good performing bat. I don't love ping sounds. This has a little bit of a sharper ping, but overall, this is a really good bat. I also think the graphics look really nice. So this is something that like I would swing, and I think for 140, 150 bucks is a really good bat. All right, next one, Miken Vicious. Very similar to the Miken MV-1. This did not perform quite as good as the MV-1. The MV-1's made like 1 mile per hour, 1.5 harder than the Miken Vicious. This bat you should expect like 85, 86 off of that 90 benchmark. So like you're getting like a 5 mile per hour penalty from like a high-end composite. But this is a really durable bat. It still has pretty good sweet spot forgiveness. A little bit more towards the end, you start to feel it like you're going to miss hit a little bit more. So you got to be a little more accurate with this one and the MV-1. But overall, if you need something for the cold weather, that's like 130, 140, 150 bucks. The Miken Vicious and the MV-1 are both pretty good choices. All right, and here's the gem of the aluminum two-piece collection. This is the Demarini Steel, $250, 89 to 90 off the tee, which is right up there with the composites that I've tested. So this was just like right behind, very, very close. Now, why would you spend $250 on an aluminum two-piece? Why not just get a composite? My guess is just weather. So like if you live in, you know, Minnesota, you're in the Dakotas, you're just, you know, up in Albany or some, you know, Buffalo, New York, and it's just going to be cold for a long time, this is probably a good bat for you. This is going to give you most of the punch of one of the high-end composites, but you know you're not going to shatter it on a 50-degree day, and you're just going to get a lot more swings on it. The one thing to think about with this Demarini Steel, now one thing to know about the Steel is it definitely feels more end-loaded and a little heavier swinging than other bats, so I might suggest that you go down an ounce from your normal, basically because like you can see the handle is really skinny for a long time, then it just kind of explodes. So this is a lot of barrel, really long barrel, a lot of forgiveness. Like you can miss at the ball and it still goes. And this also has less of a sharp ping. It's kind of a muted, kind of weird sound to it. But I hate the pinging sound of an aluminum bat. So this one's actually a lot nicer on my ears personally. So if I was in cold weather and I needed like a bat that I could just rely on that was really high performer, this would be the one that I get. If I'm more in a warmer climate, I'm not sure why I would buy a two-piece aluminum. I would just go with composite, especially since you get composite that's cheaper than this. But this is a really high-performing bat. You pretty much get what you pay for, and you're going to have the durability of aluminum. All right, so let's go to one-piece alloy. So I do play in a one-piece alloy league here in Washington, D.C., so this is actually relevant to me. I know it's relevant to some of you out there as well. I don't have as big of a collection as I'd like. I'm getting more of some of the new like Demarinis coming up soon when they're released, but here's what I've got in my collection right now. So this is the Demarini Ultimate Weapon. This is kind of like the gold standard of one pieces. And these can be kind of expensive, like 180 bucks or so. Don't quote me on the exact price because I'm not exactly sure, but has a really long barrel. I've used this bat a ton. It has a really wide sweet spot. So this is going to help you if you're in one of those one-piece alloy leagues. I don't have radar data to compare this one. Do you need to spend 180 bucks or 150 plus on a one-piece alloy? I say no, and I have another one. I'll show you why. But you do get a lot for the money with this bat. It's going to be more forgiving, wider sweet spot. It does swing a little bit heavy for the weight, in my opinion, but I don't think it's like a lot more where you'd want to go weight down. So the Ultimate Weapon by Demarini is a pretty solid one-piece alloy bat, and it's going to last you for a couple of seasons. So if you do want to spend a little more money, you're going to get that money back in durability. On the other end of the spectrum, this is a Worth amp. This is one-piece alloy, you know, approved for ASA. This bat is about 60 bucks. It's got an aluminum end cap. This is like one real true like one piece. This bat feels horrible if you mishit it, especially in cold weather. The sweet spot is considerably smaller than other bats. Like, it's obvious when you hit with this one. You got to be really, really accurate with your sweet spot, whether you're hitting off the tee or in BP or in a game. That said, could this be the right tool for you? If you just need a bat, or if you want to practice and it's cold outside and you got a cage somewhere near and you want to be like, hey, I don't mind getting feedback when I sting my hands because it's going to tell me when I got sweet spot, when I didn't. This could be a good tool for that. Honestly, I find that a little frustrating with some of the high-end bats is when you're hitting off the tee or hitting BP or whatever, you don't always know if you got it right on the sweet spot or not, so you can't really make just adjustments as well because the bats are so forgiving and you don't really get much sting or anything in your hands. This bat's going to let you know. So if you need a beater bat that's going to give you some feedback, that's going to be super durable, this thing's basically a pipe, this is not a bad bat for $60 to have in your holster. All right, and this one is my sleeper pick, and I actually bought this with my own money from Dick's Sporting Goods. StringKing, this is the Metal 2 Pro. This is all black. There's a little logo down here, so this actually looks kind of sleek and minimalistic and cool. I did it off the tee with this one, 83 miles per hour. And so that's like not too bad. That's only like 3 miles per hour slower than some of the lower end 2-piece aluminums. This is going to be my gamer bat for the 1-piece alloy season coming up. And it's like $120 or less, depending if it's on sale. So it's like a steal in my mind. I like the all black. Some of the lower end bats don't have very good graphics, so they look kind of ugly. Like, I don't really love the Ultimate Weapons look to it, but like this one's minimalist. It's kind of cool. I'm kind of into it. So the StringKing Pro 2 Metal slow pitch bat is a pretty solid ASA 1-piece alloy bat with a good sweet spot. Doesn't sting your hands as much. It's still 1-piece. So if it's cold, you're still going to feel it here and there. But overall, it's like a pretty solid competitor. And then last in the 1-piece alloy roundup is my Easton Redline. Womp womp. I bought this off eBay for $40 and I was super excited about it because I grew up playing baseball. We had Easton Redlines and all these cool bats with a shot peen finish and all that stuff. This thing broke on a really cold day. I was out playing with buddies. It was like 35 degrees and it shattered. So, this bat's 25 years old. I'm not mad at it. And really, for 1-piece alloy bats, I recommend going on eBay, go get an old bat that reminds you of your childhood. None of those bats are so high performing that those bats are going to be much worse, right? You get a brand new Demarini 1-piece or a 20-year-old Redline, yeah, there might be some break risk, but I've swung some of these old Eastons and stuff, like people around the league have a ton of them, and they're fun and they just make you feel like a kid, and I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to add a couple of these old eBay bats, and I'll probably review them when it gets a little warmer out, but don't be hesitant if you're a 1-piece person to get one of these old vintage bats off eBay. All right, and lastly, my favorite category, I've got 2 wood bats here for slow pitch, and that collection is going to grow. This one is a Brett Thunder. I'm super not a fan of the styling of this bat. I feel like they put no effort into it. That said, this is a 33-inch. It's kind of skinny. This is really easy to whip through the zone. So if you're playing in a wood bat league or you just want a wood bat, but you're worried about how heavy and loggish they can feel, which is valid, this bat you can whip around pretty easy. I think the fact that it's 33 actually makes a lot of sense considering how heavy wood bats get. And even if they're not that heavy on paper, they get really, really top heavy because they're just a chunk of wood, right? So if you want something that's easy to whip around, the Brett Thunder is going to do that. It's a composite wood, so it's going to be super durable. It's not going to be beautiful. It's just going to look whatever, but it's going to do the job. I added this twin tack grip to it, which I really like, but it does not come with a grip out of the wrapper. And then my last wood bat, this is a Phoenix bat, which I bought custom. It's got the flame barrel, natural handle. If you get wood, you need to get something tacky. Like I use batting gloves, but I use like a pine stick to make sure I have some tack here. And you can tell, this is one of the interesting things here about wood bats is the handle difference is massive. Obviously, you can get wood bats made custom. Phoenix bat, I don't have any affiliation with them yet, but they have a bunch of different models. This one has just a tapered, really thick handle, which I prefer personally, and then it's just thicker in general. But you're going to learn a lot. I like swinging wood. I'm here to tell you to go get a beautiful wood bat. 2 things about wood bats. They're so heavy on the barrel, very end loaded. They're going to force you to be better with your hands, and they're going to teach you how to be more accurate with your barrel because they're going to be very unforgiving. You're also going to feel it more when you hit off the end or the trademark. So good feedback for BP or practice or off the tee. Secondly, wood bats are handmade artisan products. And I love that about baseball. And I wish there was more of that in slow pitch. So again, I ordered this one custom. A real human made this by hand. And I love that. So get a wood bat in your repertoire. Get one that you think is beautiful, matches your team colors or whatever. And it'll last you forever. Like no one's throwing you 92-mile-per-hour sliders that are going to break your wood bats, right? So this is something that's going to be a long-lasting practice piece for me, and I'm going to play in a wood bat league this summer. But I love this Phoenix bat, really high quality maple. All right, friends, so that's my sort of roundup of 2025 bats. I'm going to have full reviews for most of these coming out soon. but I know that this is the time of year where you probably just want to like know, hey, should I get this one? Should I pull the trigger? That kind of thing. Check out the links in the description below where you'll see links to all these bats that you found here in this video from justbats.com. Again, thank you for them for sponsoring this video and sending me so many bats that I could do reviews with, teach you about all that sort of stuff. So thanks again. If you have any questions about bats, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you here in the next one.